How much money do you really need to spend on a lens? Well, I got a whole bunch of really cheap ones, so we're gonna find out. Cool. Later, but I think you guys got in there. All right, guys, welcome back. My name is Jacob. I am making 365 videos in 365 days. And yeah, I've made a video about this before, but I want to bring it up on this channel, and that is lenses and glass and how much money you need to spend on all this stuff. To get things started, I am shooting this right now on a Panasonic S1H shot in 6K. We have 400 ISO. We are shooting at f4. 640 ISO. We are shooting at f4. Yeah, that is the plan. So that is what I'm going to try and do for all of these lenses, to give you a comparison of what they look like, so you can kind of understand that just because lenses are expensive doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money on them. So I will do my best to leave all of the descriptions and let you know what these lenses are down below, but I'll also explain them, and some of them have a little bit of a cool story, which is kind of neat as well. So right now, what I'm shooting on is actually a Canon EF 14 to 40. Once again, we are f4.0, and right now we're shooting at about 640 ISO. This is the lens that I utilize the most. It's a great versatile lens. I inherited this from my grandfather, who passed away last year, who was an outstanding photographer, especially with wildlife. So for me, it's got a lot of sentimental value. I do have a couple of lenses from him, and we will rotate through those. But like I said, this is the lens that you see the most. Next, we're going to swap over to this bad boy, which is a Canon EF 24 to 105 macro. Okay, so this is another Canon lens that I did inherit from my grandfather. You can see it's pretty similar. Right now, we are shooting at a 24 millimeter focal length. I could punch this way in as well and show you what it looks like that close. I mean, I guess I will. And this is what it looks like. This is probably way, way too close for most people. And you can see this giant zit that I have growing on my face. These are not cheap lenses. Even on the used market, these are still $500, $600. I mean, they're lenses that everybody should have. Should I put on the telephoto? I mean, might as well try. Okay, right now I have my Canon EF 100 to 400 on. It is currently set to 100 millimeters. We did have to go to f4.5 just because that is the limitation of this style lens. It's a giant telephoto. I don't think I'm going to be able to punch in much more, but I will give it a shot just for you guys. Okay, so I don't even know if I can get focus on this. So we are, I don't even know if I can find focus. This is way closer than anybody would ever want me to be. But this is f5.6 at 400 millimeters, and I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do with this image. Okay, so we are now shooting on some vintage glass officially. This is a Canon FD Mount. Very, very popular style. These lenses are incredibly, incredibly cheap. This is shot at a 50 millimeter, which is one of the best focal lengths to use. This lens in particular, I bought with a bundle of a bunch of old cameras and stuff. You might be able to see it up in the corner there. I do absolutely love this lens. I think it offers some cool colors. I think some of the lens flares you can get off it are incredible. This does stop way, way down, which maybe I'll do right now for you. This is at f4 this is f4 right now. I'm going to put this to, I believe, 1.8, which is a very shallow depth of field. And you can see what that looks like. It's a very cinematic look and very difficult to shoot on. Okay, so we are now down to f1.8, so the depth of field is incredibly thin at this point. It's very, very difficult to focus, but it's a super, super cool setting with this lens, and I absolutely love this lens so much. You can find these really, really cheap now, 15, 20 bucks in some cases, so if you can get your hands on it, you can get adapters for FD lenses for almost anything. I would highly, highly recommend it, because this is one of my favorite lenses of all time. Okay, so we are now with another Canon FD lens. This is a 28 millimeter, another really good lens, although this one is a bit older, so I had some difficulty getting it mounted properly. It does need some cleaning, so finding focus is not fantastic. It can be a very, very soft lens, but the 28 millimeter focal length isn't super bad. Once again, another really, really cheap lens that you can find for 50, 60 bucks, plus an adapter that was 14, and I mean, this is kind of the image that you get. So is my focus spot on? I'm not entirely sure. But it is a very soft, kind of dreamy looking lens. Now I'm going to get into a few of these bad boys that I actually just picked up on the weekend, and I haven't mounted them to anything yet. Some of them are very, very dirty and banged up, but we're going to, very dirty and very banged up. But we've got a 35 millimeter that I'm going to try and mount on here next. We'll see how it looks. Okay, and this is actually the first time I've ever seen this lens in action. Very, very soft. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like mold or anything growing inside of the lens. It did come with the original case, which is very beaten down. But this kind of dreamy, soft cinematic look is something that a lot of people aim for, believe it or not. Having images super, super sharp is great, but this fun, nuanced look could be good for a few different things. I've actually looked at shooting the cigar reviews with this type of thing to kind of get a bit more of that ambient smoke feel to it. So that is what is on the lens right now. I believe is a 35 millimeter. And you can kind of see like these old lenses definitely have a place, and you don't need to have everything absolutely perfect with modern lenses to have a great looking image. A lot of it has to do with just lighting, composition, and color grading. So I am going to be color grading all of these together the same, so that way everything kind of looks as similar as possible. Next up, we have a 135 millimeter FD Mount lens. So let's slap this bad boy on now, and it's going to get a little close and intimate again. Did I even come close to hitting focus? Okay, I see where my focus is now. Okay, sorry about the super close. Hang on, sorry about this super close and intimate. So this is the 135 millimeter lens. I wish I could go back further, but I have like a tether to my camera, so I can't really. But same thing, like this is a kind of a unique view on this. Once again, I'm sorry for it being so close. But yeah, I'm digging this. Once again, this is the first time I've had this thing on the camera, so I could see me using this for some fun portraits. It could be kind of neat. It's, I'm very excited to play around with this a little bit in post, but I apologize to everyone who can see my pores, and once again, this gross looking zit. I did not pick a good day to be doing this. I have one other thing here that I can put on, which is a doubler. So this is basically like a zoom extender. I can put this onto one of the other lenses. So I might take the 25 mil and put it on, and then it should be very close to a 50 mil at that point. So let's do that next. So I was actually incorrect. This is not a doubler. This is kind of a halver. So this is taking our 28 millimeter and making it look like a 14. So this could actually be a really cool way to shoot like some skate videos, because you get this kind of very classic warped edge. Yeah, this is kind of neat. I think this might have actually looked better on my 50 mil. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna put this on my 50 mil. Okay, so this really softened up the image of the 50 mil, made it very difficult to hit focus, but I really dig it. I might have to do this a bit more. Hang on one sec. There you go. Sorry, I was sitting at like 1.8, but now we're at f4. So I am very, very much digging the look of this image, and this is something I could see me using for some more talking head stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I think I'm gonna end it on here. I do have other lenses. I did pick up this Minolta, which I do not have an adapter for, but I really want to see what this is like. I think this could be cool for like some cannabis photography, but unfortunately I have no real way of adapting it because it uses this really old style mounting system. I do have some micro four thirds mounts and stuff back there, but maybe we'll talk about why I think micro four thirds cameras are the best cameras in the world, which I know is going to be a divisive point for anybody watching this, but there is a very, very good reason for that. But yeah, I think this is a great example of this is a great example that you don't need a bunch of very, very expensive lenses to get some really, really cool images. Obviously, nowadays, people are moving towards very, very sharp images, crisp, but if you want kind of that dreamy cinematic look, this might be the way to go. Like, look at the background. Look how like divided I look from the background. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I really like vintage lenses, and I think we should all do our part and try and save them. So if you see them for sale on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or wherever, pick them up. I mean, if nothing else, they look sick on your shelf. And on a best case, you can use them to film stuff and get a very, very unique look. Yeah, you can add filters. You can add a bunch of different stuff. You can't put the life of the lens in post. And these lenses definitely have a lot of life and uniqueness to them. So it's about all I can say on that. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Jacob, making 365 videos in 365 days. Hope you enjoyed this kind of neat adventure. I apologize for the super close-ups, but hope you get a unique perspective on buying some vintage lenses, because why not? I still think this looks awesome. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.